It's kind of amazing that it's taken us this long to get to a game based on a Super Sentai show. And that's because Choujin Sentai Jetman is the very first Super Sentai based video game, despite it being the 15th television series. Super Sentai is the name generally given to the very loose collection of live-action superhero shows that were primarily defined by having a team of 5 color-coded heroes in spandex suits that end every episode by getting into machines that merge together to form a giant robot and then fight a giant monster. Choujin Sentai Jetman had bird-themed heroes. The plot of the game is basically the plot of the television show. The world's being invaded by the extra-dimensional Bayrem, and as the Earth's defenders, it's up to the Jetmen to stop them. When you start playing the game, you have your choice of 5 stages, and while you can do these 5 in any order, they do roughly progress in difficulty as you go from A to E. After you choose a stage, you have to pick a character. And while there are 5 characters, there's really only 3 styles, and even one of those is a stretch. You basically have a trade-off between whether you want ranged attacks or if you want health. The blue and white Jetmen have bird blasters, which fire the whole way across the screen, but do less damage than the other weapons, and they only have 6 points of health. The yellow Jetman has a gauntlet that lets them punch, and they start with 7 points of health. Finally, the red and black Jetmen have swords and begin with 8 points of health. Thing is, the gauntlets and the swords do the exact same amount of damage and have effectively the same range. So I don't know why they thought yellow needed a power down for that. Once you're in the stage, it's time for some side-scrolling action. And here, A jumps and B attacks. If you hold up and press B, you do a kick, which does the same amount of damage as the sword and gauntlet. So it's not very useful for those team members, but it's a vital technique for blue and white to get some extra damage in. You can also press start to do a screen-clearing attack. You begin with one of these power-ups, and after you use it, you'll have to collect them from knocked out enemies. The icons are these white birds. The other thing that can drop from defeated enemies are hearts to refill your health. Small hearts recover 1 bar, while large hearts are full heals. If you reach the end of the stage, it's time to fight a boss. And just like in the show, you can't really fight them on foot. So instead you get into Icarus, your giant robot, combined with all of your friends, and then take the boss on in a Street Fighter style brawl. In this mode, hitting B punches, A jumps, and you have a power bar gradually increasing at the bottom of the screen. You unleash all of the power that you've built up by pressing the start button, and which threshold you're over determines what attack you do. You can also press down to block. Choujin Sentai Jetman offers 2 levels of difficulty, easy and normal, and on normal mode, the bosses are trickier than they seem. You basically have to bait out their attacks, block them, and then follow up with your own 3-hit combo. You can finish off your opponent's life bar any way you choose, because you automatically go into your big finishing move when they run out of health. If you die in the platforming sections of the stage, then you get to pick another character out. But if you die against the boss, it's game over right there. When you complete a stage, though, you get a password, and then you can pick any of the other stages. After you clear stages A through E, you'll go to the final stage, and it plays out exactly the same as the other 5. Though the boss here is a bit tougher, the reach of their attack is so great that it penetrates your block. So the timing for attack and counterattack is quite different here. From the main menu, there's an option for a battle mode, and that just lets you pick out any of the first 5 bosses to fight. Choujin Sentai Jetman has a bit of a mixed reputation in Japan. It gets some praise for the high production values that come from it being a Natsume game, but people also note that there isn't much game here. The platforming stages are 2 to 3 minutes long, and there's only 6 of them, and the division of power doesn't make a whole lot of sense. For my own opinion, I'll also add that I found it to be way too easy. I was at the final boss 25 minutes into this, and it's been a couple years since I've played the game. I enjoy playing Choujin Sentai Jetman, but it's also really slight. It feels like half a game. I suspect this is a case of the game getting pushed out the door early. But it still plays pretty well, the action's fun, it's just there isn't much of it.